already covered the sig fig rules. So just write these down, and since I don't want to leave any lines blank, we're going to fill out the first three even though you already know them. All right, so some error exists in any measurement. Okay, we report those measured values in terms of significant figures. And so this whole thing is just about how do we count those sig figs. Okay? So this is just the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean way, I guess you could say, the method. And all that you ask yourself for this method is, does it have a decimal point? Or a decimal? Okay? Does it have a decimal? That's all you're asking yourself on this. Okay? So, you do kind of got to know a little bit of geography in the sense that the Atlantic is on this side of the United States and the Pacific is on the other side. Or else you might forget it. Okay? So all that's telling you is that you're starting from the Atlantic Ocean and heading that direction. Atlantic means it's absent, means that there's no decimal place. The Pacific, I'll change blues in a second, starts with a P, means it's present. So you're going to start from this side and you're going to go that way. All that you're doing with this new rule is you just count. That's all it is. You're just counting, okay? So the way it works, we've got is, if there is a decimal point present in the number, count the significant figure starting on the left, or the Pacific Ocean side. If a decimal point is absent, then you're going to count from the right, or the Atlantic Ocean side, in reference to United States. Okay, so the way this works, you start counting at the first non-zero number, and you don't stop until there are no more digits. Until there aren't any more digits. Okay? Okay, so we're going to look at a couple examples so you can see how that works. All right? So this first one, we have 8040. Is the decimal present or absent? Absent means it's not there. Okay? So we're going to head to the left. Okay, we're going to start on the right, head to the left. So this first digit, which is a 0, is that a non-zero? No, that wasn't a trick question, by the way, you guys. Is it a non-zero if it's a 0? No, right? Okay, so we're going to ignore that first one. We're going to go to the next number, a 4. That's a non-zero. So now I'm just going to start counting from the 4. 1, 2, 3. This one only has 3 significant figures. Okay, so all I did was I counted, and I had 3. So the next one, letter B, okay, is the decimal present or absent? Present. So we're going to start in the Pacific Ocean. We're going to head to the right, okay? So looking at this number, we have a 0, 0, 0. That's not what we can count. We have to start heading until we hit the first non-zero. Once we hit that non-zero, now you start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're done. Okay? Let's go to letter C. We have 10. Is the decimal point absent or present? Absent. So we're going to start from the right and head that way. Okay? We have a 0 to start with. So we don't start counting. The 1, we do count. So there's 1 sig fig in that. And then finally, this one, it's present, so we're going to head to the right. They're all non-zero, so you start right at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 4 sig figs in this. Okay? Yes?
I heard you say that there was an
Okay, so now I'm going to review the calculations. Okay? So with the calculations, this first part is about multiplying and dividing. Multiplying and dividing. So I'm going to put a big multiply, divide. Okay? All right, so when you are multiplying or dividing, determine the number of significant figures. I'm going to underline that because that's the big difference between this and the other stuff. In each number being used. Then you calculate your answer. So you use your little calculator, you find your answer, and I usually write the whole thing out. Then I round that answer to the least number of significant figures in the original numbers. Okay? So this one is all about significant figures. Remember that. All right, so for the first one, we have 3.45 times 2.6759. All right, so let's count up our sig figs first. How many are in this first number? 3. If you're using the present, you would have used from left to right. They all counted. Okay, so 3 on this one. How many sig figs are in the next number? 5. Our smaller number is what? 3. So I'm going to write myself a reminder before I even type it into my calculator so I know not to screw up my answer. I'm going to say 3 sig figs. Now I'm going to type it into my calculator, which you guys should do right now. Get to practicing. And I'll give you the rest of the answer. But you guys type in the first one at least. All right, so what did you guys get in the calculator? What? 9 point what? 2. I'm not doing it for you. Come on. 2, 3.
Oh, wait, no, wait,
Not yet. I just want the answer. 2, 3, 1, 8, 5, 5, right? Okay. So I have to make it 3 sig figs. So I'm going to count over 3 sig figs. Check the guy behind it. What is it going to be? 9.23. And that's it. Okay. All right. So for the next one, so I'm going to use the Atlantic Pacific rule again. All right. So 0.21. Is it present or absent? Present. So I'm going to go this way and count. That guy doesn't count. I'm going to say 1, 2. So I know that this guy has 2. This one's going to have 2. This is 3. And this is 1. Okay? This is the number that we're going to be using. So I'm going to put a little reminder on the line before I even type into my calculator. It's 1 significant figure. Then I type it into my calculator and I get 0.04704. I did the calculation for that one. You're good. All right. So we're going to go, we have to make this go to 1 sig fig. So does this 0 count?
No.
No. Does the next one?
No.
No. Okay. So we're talking about this guy right here. Okay. So we're going to look at the 4, check the one behind it. What is it going to make my answer?
0.05.
Good. Okay, the last one we have how many significant figures in 12.00? 4. How many are in 4.0? 2. So my overall answer can only have 2 sig figs. You should not type this into your calculator. What's 12 divided by 4? 3. But is just me putting 3 okay?
3.0.
I agree. Okay, good. So Sarah said 3.0. Okay. Okay, so now on this side we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting. So I'm just going to put myself a big reminder so I know that this is where we are talking about that. Okay? All right, so when you are adding or subtracting, determine how many digits are after the decimal point. So I also called that decimal places. I think that's what I told you guys last week. Okay, so decimal places. They're just saying count up all your decimal places between all your numbers. Then you're going to calculate the answer just like we did on multiplying and dividing. And now we have to record our answer to the least number of digits. Okay, but we're not using sig figs this time. We're talking about decimal places, so least number of decimal places. So I like to put a big DP here. So I know that when I see addition and subtraction, I'm counting decimal places, okay? All right, so on this first one, I have 12.520. How many decimal places do you guys see? 3. 8.24. 2. And 349.1. 1. All right, what's my least number? 1. So I'm going to put myself a little reminder. Okay, type that one in. You guys do the first one. I'll do the other two. Okay, somebody shout out the answer and then somebody second it.
369.76.
She said 369.76. Did anybody else get that? Yes? Okay. Then we're going to move on with that. So we have 369.76. I'm going to go to that first decimal place and check the guy behind it. What does that tell me I have to do? Round. We're going to round up. Good. So we're going to say 369.8. I want to make a side note on this question. That is still not the correct answer. What am I missing in this answer? Does anybody know? The units. Grams. Good. Okay. So no naked numbers. You guys have to start including your units. I've been easy on that. Now you got to start doing it. Okay. Units are there for a reason. If I'm going to take the time to put units in the question, you give units in the answer. Okay. All right. Next one, we have 5.44 minus 2.6103. So this first number we have how many? 2. And the second number we have 4. I'll just tell you that. All right. So how many decimal places does my answer have to have? 2. Good. So I'm going to put a little note right there. Okay. And now I'm going to calculate it. And when I did, I got 2.8297. So I'm going to go to that second decimal place, check the one behind it. My answer is going to be 2.83. Good. 833. Still not right. What is it? Milliliters. Good. Okay. Finally, the last one down here. We have 1 decimal place in the first number, 3 decimal places in the second number, so my least is 1. When I type that into the calculator, I end up getting 85.645. And once again, I'm going to go to that first decimal place, check the one behind it. It's going to say 85.6 centimeters. Sorry to kind of speed up there. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, so right now, I'm going to be handing back your summer assignment assessment. While I do that, pack it over. Look at this side. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys work on this. The only ones I want you to do, I mean, you can do them all, but the ones that I have the key for up here is going to be these 4, the first 2, and then A and C. Okay, so I'll have those answers up on the front desk and you can come check them. Okay.